I know a lot of women can sometimes freak out when their cycles shift and they're not coming at the time that they were supposed to come. But honestly, it's most likely your energy is shifting, and that is why your cycle is changing. Welcome back to Earth's Feminine. If you're new here, welcome. This is the channel where you can come and learn all about primal feminine energy, the feminine energy that existed pre-colonization, and all of the conditioning that has been done to the way that we see and perceive feminine energy as it relates to everything and everyone on the planet today. My name is Asaya, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the feminine cycles. I'm specifically talking about the feminine menstrual cycles and how we actually have 8 feminine cycles throughout the month, but I really want to get into the energetics of each cycle, and it's actually going to be the traditional 4 cycles that most people know of as the pink moon cycle, the red moon cycle, the purple moon cycle, and the white moon cycle. And that's what I want to talk about today, because clearly I'm back. I have not been on this channel, any of my channel. I haven't been on social media in months, And let me tell you, I needed that break. I needed a break from social media. I needed a break from recording. I needed a break from being external and doing things and living in the society that we live in. Especially as a woman, we constantly feel pressure to show up in a way that is not necessary to our energy, or our energy may not even be wanting to be out there in the world, being external, right? We might be in a certain phase in our energy, and our society really isn't brought up or wired to have us understand these things about ourselves as women. So that's the point of my channel, is to educate you all on the energetics behind what it means to be a woman, but also how important it is for you to live by these energetics, to live by these standards, because this is what is ultimately going to keep you healthy. This is what's going to keep you happy. It's what's going to keep you in tune with being a woman. So yeah, I took a break from being on my channel because my cycle shifted, but there's so much more that comes along with your cycle shifting, right? Your cycle doesn't really, the cycle shifting isn't the reason. Your cycle shifts because of the energy. So it's the energy really that you're in, and then physically your body syncs up with that energy, and your menstrual cycle will shift. When I say shift, I mean like the timeline of when you have your period will shift. The frequency will shift. Usually when it has to do with like the length and the feelings associated with your period. Honestly, that's a whole nother video that I could go into if y'all are interested. But what I want to talk about in this video is specifically the timing and when your period shifts in timelines, what that means. So yeah, my period shifted, my cycle shifted, and I was called to retreat and really take some time to myself, some much needed time to myself. And I experienced a lot of different things in that time. I manifested some big wins. I manifested new relationships, and I really got to just be and experience life without feeling the need to be online, to be in your face, having something to say, to share. And I feel like as women and as people in general, we all just need that permission slip to just back off and go within and do whatever we need to do and give ourselves that compassion and understanding and love, right? To being like, yeah, you can do that for yourself. That's perfectly fine. That's in a nutshell the reasoning for my absence. And there's been a few things that I have done in my absence. I have some new products on my store. If you would like to check out those new products, I have some new jewelry I finally got in stock. This is a beautiful ruby high carbon crystal ring, and I also have basically the same thing in a necklace and earrings, and I'm going to be getting much more jewelry coming in soon. So energetics of the feminine cycles and understanding each feminine energy cycle so that you can respect where you are at in your energy and not force yourself to be doing things that you don't really feel like you need to do. And this, ultimately can result in, illnesses, feeling just out of whack, and all kinds of things. I go deeper into why this is important in another one of my videos, how to connect to your feminine energy via the moon. So this is kind of a deeper dive into that because the feminine cycles are connected to the moon. It's 2024. If you don't know that, you should know that by now. Yes, your feminine cycle is connected to the moon and the moon's phases. The moon has in total 8 phases. The moon represents the mother, the grandmother, energetically, vibrationally. She governs over the waters of this planet, the souls of this planet, and the energy that is in motion basically every single day. When there's a new moon, when there's a full moon, the tides are rising, the tides are falling. And the same thing applies to the blood in our body and the blood flowing through our brain. Okay, so there's so much about us as women that is impacted and unveiled through the moon. And I teach women how to understand this in depth in my course, Lunar Feminine Freedom. It's now a self-paced course. You can sign up for the course on my website as well. I have set everything up on my website at Earth Feminine, and it should actually be, if you're watching from my YouTube video, down below in my shop to where you can see it and enroll if you would like. So Lunar Feminine Freedom is the course that teaches you all about your psychic gifts, your intuitive powers as a woman, the energy that you are truly meant to be valued for, right? The oracle within you, the wisdom that is within you. And this is all governed by the waters, okay? The moon. So our cycle, our womb is connected to the moon as well. This is a sacral energy where water, this is the element of water here is within our womb, in our sacral sphere of our body. And every month the energies flowing is changing, and it's changing predominantly based off of what we are tuned into, tapped into within our own soul, within our own energy. So as a woman, if you are menstruating within these different windows of, basically, there is the waxing moon phase, there is the full moon phase, there is the waning moon phase, and then there is the new moon phase. These are the 4, in a nutshell, phases. Again, The moon has 8 phases. We can break them down into 8 phases when we're looking at the waxing crescent, the first quarter, the third quarter, the waning crescent, right? We just added on 4 extra phases. So that's more precise, and we're not going to get into that in this video. Again, I can if you want me to, because your girl is an expert basically at dissecting these things that nobody thinks to dissect or think about. So in a nutshell, the 4 phases, the 4 simplistic phases that we go through every month is that waxing, full moon, waning, and new moon cycle. So I want to talk today about each cycle. If you are cycling within any of these phases, meaning menstruating within any of these phases, I'm gonna give you my personal experience and breakdown of what you are energetically going through and being called to understand during these times. No, I am not going to be regurgitating what I read on a blog somewhere, what somebody else said on TikTok, or I'm not doing that, because honestly, I scroll and I watch and I research. I'm a researcher. Like, I love to learn and discover new things, and I get really disappointed when I come onto a video or a TikTok or whatever, and I'm trying to learn something new, and I'm like, I literally just read this. Like, all of y'all reading the same stuff, coming, and then you just repeating it. Stop doing that, okay? All of this actually has to do with the moon. And if you want to understand how to really intuitively be able to channel things based off of your relationship with it, Lunar Feminine Freedom is the course for you. So let's start with the new moon cycle. If you are bleeding or menstruating during the new moon cycle, every time I had my cycle during this time, I've always been called to self-care, doing some deep self-care, nurturing myself, taking care of myself. When I was heavily, basically my cycle was on the new moon a lot. This is when I started my healing journey, and I was basically realizing that I had to take care of myself after I had my daughter, from the health issues that I was experiencing. And not only that, but I also realized the new things that I wanted to create creatively in my business and nurture, right? What I wanted to nurture and grow, because I had started several programs and courses, and I was being called to nurture the women that were in those courses and nurture the programs. So every time I hit the new moon cycle, so typically people say the new moon cycle is the cycle of the mother, and this is the time where you are being called to birth new things and maybe have a new baby or conceive something new. However, every time I've cycled during this time, I've personally been called to taking time for self-care and taking care of myself, and not necessarily focusing so much on other things, but making sure that I am balancing taking care of myself with these other things that I am creating, that I'm nurturing, that I want to do. So that has been the main element and energy that I'm in during the new moon cycle. If you're menstruating and cycling through the waxing moon phase, which is now the cycle that I am currently in after being in one of the other ones that I'm going to get to. But the waxing moon cycle is the cycle where basically you are excited for life. If you're menstruating during this cycle, it means that you are outside, okay? You out there. You are ready to really embark on this new phase of your life. And this means being like going outside, doing things, meeting new people, networking, traveling, you know, being a social butterfly. Okay, this energy is what they associate with the maiden archetype, and the maiden archetype is like the youngest form of feminine energy. Well, I would say the most like naive or youthful form of feminine energy, but it's basically this free feminine energy. It's a feminine energy that is free, right? She's free. She doesn't have all of these things going in her mind that's weighing her down. Actually, if she has anything going on in her mind, it's excitement for this new person she's becoming. So if you are menstruating and cycling through this cycle, you may be embarking on a new journey, a new chapter in your life. Maybe you're starting college and you're going to university, you're doing something new, you know, and it's really exciting for you. Or you're in another new phase of your life where you feel like you're becoming a new woman after, you know, a period of, you know, probably the next few cycles I'm going to get into, right? Whatever it is that you have been through, you feel like there's a new chapter opening up, and this is the waxing moon cycle. This is what this means when you are menstruating during the cycle. So really put your energy into creating this new version of you, creating the version of you that is going to open up the door for this new cycle. And don't feel guilty about whatever you have to leave behind and let go of. Actually, you probably won't even be thinking too much about that anyway, because you'll be so excited for what's coming. So make sure that you let yourself go outside, let yourself do things, let yourself go to that concert or that place, or, you know, step into the person that you are being called to become during the waxing moon phase. Full moon cycle. This is a cycle that actually I find the most enchanting. I find this cycle to be the most enchanting, and every time when I'm in this cycle, I find that it is so, like, it's a time where I just have so much wisdom flooding in to my brain that I have to do something with it. I have to work with this. So this is the cycle, if you're menstruating during a full moon cycle, where you are going to want to take all of this magic and manifest it into the physical in some way, shape, or form, in a way to where it is helping or enhancing the world. It's in a way to where it is empowering other people as well. So they call this cycle the crone, right? The energy of the crone, the red moon cycle, when you menstruate or bleed during the full moon. And for me, I find this to be definitely the cycle of the witch, or the woman who is heavily connected to the earth, right? She's not in this necessarily fertile zone where she wants to self-care and focus on taking care and nurturing, but she's wanting to take the wisdom of, it's almost like instead of practicing the self-care, she is imbued with the wisdom of the medicine of love and care. And you're able to take this energy and channel it into whatever it is that you're doing or creating. So this is why I said I wanted to save this for later, because I went on this like rampage during my full moon menstruation period, and I started coming up with all of these formulas for skincare, and specifically oils and elixirs that women could use, anybody could use really, for their skin. So one of the first elixirs that I created is called the, let me see if I can just zoom into this. Please zoom in. Is the Heal Her Face and Skin Elixir. So the Heal Her Face and Skin Elixir is basically a face and skin elixir that I created specifically for women who are in need of healing when it comes to their face and their skin. I did a video on my channel. It was like a makeup routine video, but I also talked a little bit about how our skin embodies our energy, what we're going through. And whenever we look at our skin, it can tell us so much about what we're experiencing. So this skin oil I specifically made for women who are in need of healing. So if you have or struggle with acne, psoriasis, eczema, or any kind of bacterial imbalances on the face and skin, then this is the oil that is for you. I also channeled this formula because my daughter was experiencing skin issues, specifically like skin ulcers, and I had never seen anything like that before. And it is similar to eczema, psoriasis, and these bacterial imbalances on the skin. And I really, really felt passionate about healing and making sure that that was not a thing for her anymore. So I started using it on her, and within a few days her skin started healing and I was no longer seeing breakouts. This is available on my website, so if you would like to buy it, it is a 2-ounce bottle with all the ingredients that I have in here. Okay, there are other people who are out there selling 1-ounce bottles for even more. I'm talking about $100 to $150 for a 1-ounce bottle of some of the ingredients that I have, if not most of the ingredients that I have in this bottle. Basically getting 2 ounces for half the price. So here you go. If you would like to purchase some for yourself or a loved one, that is available at the Earth's Feminine shop. Are menstruating during the full moon, this is what you're probably going to be experiencing. You're going to be experiencing this influx of information, wisdom for you to use to be able to empower you, empower your life, empower the lives of other people, and things like that. So beautiful. Oh, also, you may also be called to lead in some kind of way, shape, or form, or fashion, to be a leader in some way, and use your wisdom to lead other people. So that is the energy that I typically feel myself in when I'm menstruating during the full moon. So now let's move on to the last cycle. If you are menstruating during the waning moon phase, then this is what you are probably experiencing energetically. This is what I experienced energetically. Honestly, this is like the most, within the past few years of my life, this is the common cycle that I was in. And this, they call this cycle the Wild Woman cycle. So the waning moon is basically where everything is going within, right? Everything, the moon is now transitioning from being full and it going back into the darkness. And during the waning moon, this is a place where you're really going to be asking yourself the question of, who am I? Like, what do I really want for myself? You know, it's a really like a challenging, you're challenging yourself during this time, because you're also going to be challenging the things that you already know. You're probably during this time going to want to read books, right? Read books that you have never read before. You know, you might feel an intuitive nudge to go somewhere or do something that is out of the norm for you, but for whatever reason you feel it inside of you to do that thing, read that book, watch this documentary, you know, learning more, honestly, has been, this is what this cycle has been all about for me whenever I'm in this cycle. And again, this is a cycle I was pretty much in for the bulk of, I want to say, like 5 years. I was in this cycle the most. And it has to do with really learning about yourself, learning about who you are, learning about what your true desires are, and really embarking on this journey of self-discovery. Learning more about yourself, going within. It's the opposite of the waxing moon phase. If you're menstruating during that waxing moon phase, you're basically starting the new phase of yourself, starting the new phase of your life, externally focused more so. And if you're menstruating during this waning phase, you are definitely more so going within. You are learning more about yourself, and you're feeling called to expand in your knowledge of self. That is basically a synopsis of the energies that we go through every month. If you are menstruating within any of these phases, I have previously just left being in a waning moon and full moon phase. So I was in a waning moon phase, and then I was in a full moon phase. Now I'm in a waxing moon phase. And I know a lot of women can sometimes freak out when their cycles shift, and they're not coming at the time that they were supposed to come or anything like that. But honestly, if it's a drastic shift one time, you know, throughout the year, I would not be concerned. I would not be too concerned. It's probably having something to do with your energy. Or if it's just minuscule shifts throughout the year, right? Like, again, I wouldn't be too concerned. It's most likely your energy is shifting, and that is why your cycle is changing. So for me, being in that waning moon phase and that full moon phase, like teetering tattering between it, I was definitely feeling like I didn't want to be on camera, specifically during the waning moon phase. I didn't want to be on camera. I didn't really have the desire to talk and show up, and I just kind of respected that and honored that. Like, I don't want to show up right now. I don't, not right now, you know. And I kind of just want to be, you know, and explore myself. So take a look at where your energy has been and where your energy is right now, and ask yourself how you can, you know, if you aren't already, how you can line yourself up with really respecting where you're at right now, and mold your life to fit where you are at, and not feel like you have to mold yourself to fit where you think you should be. This is all forms of, you know, internalized misogyny, really insidious internalized misogyny, that if we're not aware of, you know, it can just run our life, you know. So we want to give ourselves permission to love the fact that we are cyclical beings, that we operate within this cycle of this 28-day cycle of the moon, and how that cycle is worthy of so much respect, honor, and love. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm in my waxing moon phase, and I'm excited for this new phase and this new chapter of my life. Let me know what y'all think about this video. Do y'all want to see more videos where I go deeper into the cycles, what it means energetically when you have like a more painful cycle, or a heavy cycle, or a prolonged cycle that lasts for like 7 to like extended, you know, amounts of time? Let me know if y'all want to like get a video or a spin of my perspective on that in the comments. And also, what cycle are you in? Do you feel like the energy relates? Do you feel like you have, been called to do certain things? And if none of what I have said resonated, comment down below what you have experienced during these times of the moon that you have menstruated in, whether it be waxing, full moon, waning, or the new moon. And yeah, and again, if you would like to purchase my oils or any of my jewelry or enroll into my courses, the links to that are also down below. You can scroll and see which one piques your interest the most. And I will see you all in my next video. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for being so patient on my return. Love you so much. See you in the next one. Bye.